Good evening, guys. Welcome back. Today is our third session related to DevOps with AWS Cloud. In the last session, we discussed about what is DevOps. DevOps means development plus operations. DevOps is a culture, or we can say it is a process in the IT industry to simplify application delivery process to the clients with a high quality. So in the project development and the delivery process, mainly two teams will be involved, guys. One is called development team. Second one is called operations team. Development team will work on coding part based on the requirements given by the client. Operations team will work on the delivery part of the project. As the development team and operations teams are working on the project, there should be some collaboration between the development team and the operations team. To establish that collaboration between these two teams, this DevOps culture came into market. The main aim of the DevOps to deliver the project to the client with a high quality and establish the collaboration between dev team and operations team. In the project, development team will have some roles and operations team will have some roles. In the last session, we discussed development team is responsible to perform these activities in the project. Basically, the development team will understand the given requirement. They will design the requirement. That means they will do the planning for that. Then they will go for the development, means they will do the coding for that application. They will test that code. They will integrate that code in the Git repositories. All multiple developers will be available. All the developers' code will be integrated at one place. That is called repository, source code repository. Then testing team is going to test the code that is working as expected or not. The application testing will happen. Then if they found any bugs, then developers are going to fix those bugs also. So that means developers are responsible for bug fixing as well. So these are the activities done by dev team in our project. Then next one, operations team will be available. Nothing but DevOps team, operations team will be available. What are the responsibilities of the operations team in the project? Operations team is responsible to understand the infrastructure level requirements. That means what kind of infrastructure we need to set up to execute this application, which cloud platform we need to use to set up the infrastructure, what kind of servers are required, what kind of storage, database, security, network, monitoring, all these things we are going to understand as a operations team member. Then once the infrastructure planning is completed, then we are going to create that infrastructure. Earlier, people used it to create the infrastructure on their own machines like on-premises infrastructure. But nowadays, companies are using cloud infrastructure like AWS Cloud, Azure, GCP. So we should know we are responsible to create the infrastructure in the cloud, not manually, guys. Here, we are going to use a tool called Terraform, right? Terraform is used for infrastructure creation in any cloud platform. Once infrastructure is ready, we are responsible for configuration management also. Configuration management in the sense, by using Ansible, we are going to automate. So like copying the files, installing the softwares, uninstall the softwares, update the versions, do the OS updates, patchings, and all that things we are going to do by using Ansible. Then we should have the work experience with the Linux machines, guys, because in the real time, everything we are going to set up on the Linux machine only. So Linux operating system knowledge, Linux commands, so shell scripting is required. Then we should be able to create the repositories for the dev teams so that they can integrate the code. You should work with the GitHub or Bitbucket repositories in the project. You should know Docker containers concept. Every application will be deployed as a container nowadays. So that means we are going to package our application dependencies for executing in any platform with the help of the Docker. So Docker we should learn to make our application execution as a container. So here we are not going to create the containers manually. We are going to automate the containers creation by using orchestration platform like Kubernates. Orchestration nothing but managing the containers, creating, updating, deleting, scale up, scale down. All that stuff can be taken care by Kubernetes. So we should know how to work with Kubernetes. Then build and deployment. Developers will keep the code into GitHub repository. From there, we need to take the code, we need to compile that code, build that code, package that code, test that code, review that code, then deploy that code by using Docker and Kubernetes. So whatever this build process is available, we are going to automate that build process by using CI/CD software like Jenkins, right? Then we are responsible for monitoring of our infrastructure as well as our applications also. Okay, so these are the roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineers in the project. Now, how to become DevOps engineer? How to get the job in the DevOps role, right? So for that, you need to learn some skills. So you should know what is application. Okay, you should know what is the architecture of the application, how a project will be available in the industry, what layers will be available in the project. Then you should know how to work with Linux machines. You should know shell scripting. You should know cloud services. You should know DevOps tools. So if you learn all these things, then you are called as DevOps engineer. Okay. So as part of this course, we are going to learn Linux, shell scripting, cloud services, AWS cloud services, and the DevOps tools also. Okay, so there are several services available in the AWS. Some important services I have listed down here in the yesterday's session. And there are several DevOps tools also available. Every tool is having its own purpose. So we should know all these tools to represent ourselves as a DevOps engineer. So our DevOps course roadmap. So we are going to learn the introduction for the DevOps, Linux. First, we'll start with the Linux OS, then shell scripting, then cloud services in the AWS, then DevOps tools, then projects set up as a DevOps engineer, then interview guidance will be available for us. And yesterday I have given the task for you to create a free tier account in the AWS cloud. So as we are going to work with AWS services, you need to have the account in the AWS cloud, which is free of cost. Within 5 minutes of time, you can set up the account in the AWS cloud. I have given you a video also in which I have explained how to create account in the AWS cloud. So I hope all of you completed the yesterday task. Can I assume that all of you completed the yesterday task? Yeah. So the people who are attending for first class today, so whatever the 2 classes you missed, that videos, those videos and that notes of the last 2 sessions, you can access from this WhatsApp community. I have given the community link in the chat box. If you are new for this class, if you are attending for first time today, please join in that community so that after the today's session also, I'm going to give the updates in that WhatsApp. Perfect. All right. Let's get started with our today's topic. Let's understand about application today. So we are going to get the job as a DevOps engineer, then we need to work on one application, right? So what is application? How many types of applications will be available in the IT, and what will be the architecture of the application? So let's focus on application related concepts today. So here, software project. So first let's understand what is software project. Here, anyone can answer what is software project? Any idea what is a software project, guys? Software project, nothing but collection of programs. Okay, development team will be available. That a development team is responsible to write several programs. The collection of software programs is called as one software application. Okay, now these software programs we are going to develop. Software programs we will develop by using some programming languages. Collection of software programs is called as software project. Now here, to develop the programs, to develop software programs, we will use programming languages. Okay, there are several programming languages available, like C language available, C++ is available, Java is available, Python is available, .NET, nothing but C# is available. Okay, JavaScript is available. Like that, there are so many languages available in the market. So by using these programming languages, people will develop the programs. Collection of programs is called as software project. The people who are developing the programs, those are called as developers or programmers. Okay, so in the company, a team will be available who are responsible to develop the programs. the team which is developing the programs for our application, that team is called as development team. So development team will use any one programming language to develop our software application. Are you guys clear with my point? What is a software project? Collection of programs is called as software project. How do we develop those programs? To develop those programs, there are several programming languages. What are the programming languages available in the market? C language, C++ available, Java available, Python is available, PHP is available, C# is available, etc. Okay. Now the question is, we no need to bother about these languages, guys, because we are not responsible for that project development in the company. We are going to join as a DevOps engineer. Okay, so development team will be separate. They will take care of the project development. Good. Why to develop these software projects, guys? Why to develop software project? What is the reason companies are developing these many software projects? There are thousands of lakhs of companies are available in the market. Every company is developing software projects, right? Why they are developing these software projects? What is the purpose of developing the software projects? Software projects are used to reduce human efforts and simplify humans' life. Okay, guys. What is the purpose of developing these software projects? Software projects are used to reduce human efforts and simplify humans' life. So what is the meaning of that? So here if you see, earlier, if you want to book a train ticket, you should go to the railway station. Now, IRCTC application is available for ticket booking. Okay, so earlier, if you want to book train ticket, you should go to nearest railway station to book the train ticket. Now, are you going to the railway station for booking the ticket? Not required. IRCTC project is available for train tickets booking. For train tickets booking, IRCTC application is available. Earlier, if you want to send money to your friend or your father, you need to visit the bank for a deposit. But nowadays, not required, because Google Pay is available, Phone Pay is available, PayPal is available for the amount to transfers. So banking operations are simplified with these software applications. Net banking is available. You can directly transfer the money from one account to another account by using these software applications. Now, earlier, if you want to purchase a mobile, you should visit the mobile store and you need to select the mobile and you need to purchase the mobile. But today, Amazon application is available, Flipkart application is available for online shopping. So your life is simplified. Your efforts are reduced with the help of these software projects. Software projects are used to reduce human efforts and simplify humans' life. Some examples I have listed down. So for train tickets booking, you no need to visit the railway station. You can just use IRCTC. Within 2 minutes of time, you can book your ticket. Google Pay, Phone Pay, PayPal, net banking operations available to simplify bank-related work. Amazon, Flipkart websites are available for online shopping. And if you want to watch a movie, earlier you should go to the movie theater, you should stand in the queue to buy the ticket. But now Book My Show is available to book movie tickets. Okay, and we have software application like Swiggy and Zomato for food orders. Now, today you want to eat biryani at your house. If you want to prepare that biryani, it will take 2 to 3 hours of time for you. 3 hours of time if you spend, then only you can make biryani at your house. But today, people are just placing the order using Swiggy and Zomato apps. Within 15 to 20 minutes of time, biryani will be delivered at your doorstep. So that is software application. So these software projects are used to reduce human efforts and they are simplifying humans' lives. Are you guys clear? What is a software project and why we need to develop the software project? If you are clear with these 2 points, just confirm in the chat box, then I will go for the next topic. Good. We are good with what is project and why to develop the project. Then types of software projects. Types of software projects. Software projects are divided into multiple types. So the first one, the software project, first we can say the first category is standalone application. Standalone projects are, we can also called as desktop projects. So some companies are developing standalone projects or desktop projects. And we can see the second category as web application. Web projects are available or web applications are available. Desktop applications are available in the market. Web applications also available in the market. And distributed applications are available in the market. Distributed applications are available in the market. And the fourth category, mobile applications also available in the market. So in the IT industry, we can see 4 types of software applications. What are those 4 types of software applications? First one is called as standalone application. We call it as desktop application. Second category is called as a web application. Third category is called as distributed application. Fourth category is called as mobile application. Okay, now let's understand what is the difference between these applications. Standalone applications, web applications, distributed applications, and mobile applications. So here guys, standalone applications are desktop applications. Desktop applications will execute in one system. Only one user can access. Only one user can. Desktop applications will execute only in one system and only one user can access. For example, our operating system. Windows operating system, we are installing in our machine. If I install Windows in my machine, only I can use it. You cannot use that. In my system, calculator is available. Only I can use that calculator. You can't use that calculator. In my system, notepad is available. Only I can use it. So that means these softwares are specific to computer. These softwares are specific to one machine. Desktop applications will execute only in one system. Desktop applications will execute only in one system. Only one user can access at a time. For example, our operating system is a desktop software. Calculator is a desktop software. Notepad is a desktop software. Only one user can access this application at a time in one system. Are you guys clear with my point? Then next one, web applications are available. Web application means multiple users can access at a time. What is the meaning of web application? Web applications can be accessed by multiple users at a time. Multiple users at a time with the internet. The example, I am using Gmail in my laptop. You can also use Gmail in your laptop. I am using YouTube in my system to watch the videos. You can also watch at a time. Facebook is available in my system. I can use it in my laptop and I can use it in my desktop. So Facebook, at a time, multiple users can access. Gmail, multiple users can access at a time. So such a kind of applications, for example, LinkedIn is available. These all applications are called as web applications. Web applications can be accessed by multiple users at a time with the help of internet. So such kind of projects are called web projects. Standalone projects are desktop applications, nothing but they will execute only in one system at a time. Whereas web applications can be accessed by multiple users at a time with the help of internet. Are you getting my point? Then next one, distributed application. If one application is communicating with another application for reusing the business services, for reusing business services, then those are called as distributed applications. These distributed applications are also called as web services. Okay, one project is going to communicate with the another project for reusing the business services. If one project is communicating with the another project, then those projects are called as distributed applications, guys. Let us see, for example, you can book the train ticket by using IRCTC. Same ticket you can book by using Make My Trip also, same kind of ticket. That means Make My Trip application is going to communicate with the IRCTC application for the train ticket booking. And here, using Google Pay, you are transferring the amount. Google Pay will communicate with your SBI bank application. Okay, here, if you are applying for the passport, your passport application will communicate with the Aadhaar application to verify your Aadhaar is valid or not. So in the real time, the logic available in one project will be reused by the another project. So if this kind of communication is available, then those applications are called as distributed applications. Distributed applications are also called as web services. One project is going to communicate with the another project. If one project is communicating with the another project, then those projects are called as distributed applications. Those are also called as web services in the market. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? What is standalone application? What is web application? And what is distributed application? What is standalone application? What is web application? And what is distributed application? Please respond in the chat box. Confirm. Confirm in the chat box, guys. I'm not seeing any response. I'm asking the questions. Now you respond in the chat box. What is standalone application? What is standalone application? I need answers, guys. You need to type. Which runs only in one machine is called as standalone application. What is web application? What is web application? Multiple users can access at a time. Any application can be accessed by multiple users at a time is called web application. Then what is a distributed application? What is a distributed application? If one application is communicating with another application, that is called distributed application. Why one application should communicate with another application, guys? Why one application should communicate with another application? Business purpose. Business purpose. Okay. So here in the real time, people will call like this. So web applications are nothing but C2B. Web applications are nothing but C2B. That means customer to business. Customer directly will communicate with our application for the business operation. That is customer to business. Whereas when you go for the distributed application, B2B will be available. Business to business will be available. C2B will be available and B2B will be available. C2B nothing but customer to business. B2B nothing but business to business communication will be available. And the next one, the fourth category in the industry that we can see, mobile applications. Mobile applications are used to run in mobiles. Example, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook Messenger. Okay, so like this, some mobile apps also available. These applications we can directly access in our mobile. Now, how you are using WhatsApp? You installed WhatsApp in your mobile. So mobile app is available in the Play Store. In the Play Store or in the App Store, the WhatsApp application will be available. You are downloading and installing that mobile app in your mobile to use it. So the application which is designed to run in the mobile is called as mobile application. So in the IT industry, we are going to develop these 4 types of projects. Standalone projects means they will run only in one system. Web application means multiple users can access at a time. Distributed application means one application will communicate with another application. These distributed applications are also called as web services. Mobile applications, nothing but the applications which are developed to use in the mobile. Okay, these are called as mobile applications. Next one. So if you take any application, they will follow some architecture. So what is the architecture people will follow to develop? So let's talk about application architecture. So if you take any application, it will have layered architecture. Application will have the layered architecture. So in the real time, people will be developing the application. Application will be developed in layered architecture, using layered architecture. Okay, multiple layers will be available for every application. Application will be developed using layered architecture. What type of layers will be available? For every application, presentation layer will be available. So if you go to any project, you can see some UI, user interface will be available. Login page will be available. Registration page will be available. Some presentation layer will be available for every application. So if you go to any project, whatever you see in the project with your eyes, that is called presentation. That is called user interface. So when you visit our Ashok IT website, you can see a logo, you can see some buttons, you can see some menu, and some information is available. You can see one pop-up image is available. Okay. So whatever you see on this website, that is called user interface. So this user interface is called as presentation layer in the project. Okay. Then next one, in the project, we will be having a web layer. A project contains presentation layer and a web layer. So what is the meaning of web layer? Where the logic will be executed. In the web layer, logic will be executed. Let us see here. In the Ashok IT website, there is a login button is available. When I enter my email ID and password, if I click on the login button, it is saying invalid credentials. So that means some code is executing in the background. That code is verifying my credentials are valid or not. As I have given the incorrect credentials, it is not allowing me to log into the website, and it is giving the error message saying that invalid credentials. Suppose, for example, if I give valid credentials, if I give my valid username and valid password, if I click on login, then it is allowing me to log into the application, and it is showing the dashboard where my courses are available, and I can see the notes which is available, and I can upload the notes also. I can download the notes also. I can delete the notes. That means here, when I click on the login, some logic is executed. So that logic, nothing but some web layer is available in the background. Okay. So when you click on the login button with your credentials, it will take your data and it will verify your credentials are valid. So that is called as a backend. Front end will be available for the application, and backend will be available for the application, and database will be available for the application. Okay. So application will be divided into 3 parts, guys. One is front end. In the front end, presentation layer will be available, which is called as user interface. Whatever you see on the browser, that is called front end. Then whenever you perform some operation on the front end, some business logic will be executed in the back end, like verify your credentials are valid or not. If your credentials are invalid, it will display one error message on the same page. If your credentials are valid, then it is showing the dashboard page for the user. So how it is doing that? Some code is executing in the back. Some business logic is executing in the backend. And here, a database will be available for every application for the storage purpose. So how the data is maintained in the application? So if you go to your WhatsApp, so you whatever the messages you have sent 1 year back, those messages you can see today also in the chat history. Getting my point? So here, if you go to the Facebook, last year, whatever the profile photo you have updated, today you can access that profile photo. So that means every application will maintain the data. To maintain the data permanently, we are going to use a database for the project. Database is used for storage. To store our application data permanently, we are going to use database for our application. So if you see application architecture, application will contain mainly 3 layers, guys. Front end will be available, back end will be available, database will be available. Front end will contain user interface, nothing but presentation layer will be available, which will display the data to the users. Then when user perform some operation on the front end, then in the back end, some code will be executed. In the backend, some code is going to be executed. So validate your credentials are correct or not. So whenever you register, send an email with your registration confirmation, send a OTP to your mobile, send a OTP to your email. Okay, such a kind of logic will be executed in the backend. The logic which is executing in the backend is called as business logic. And for every application, storage is required because here in my application, I created my account here. So if you want to use our application, you need to create the account. And once you register, your data will be stored into our database. Then next time, when you click on the login, it will verify your data is valid or not. So that means where the data is maintained, to maintain the data for our application, we are going to use a concept called database concept. Database concept. Are you guys clear with my point about the application architecture? Application will be developed using layered architecture. Front end will be available, back end will be available, and a database will be available. So diagrammatically, we can represent our application architecture like this. Diagrammatically, we can represent our application architecture like this. So for every application, front end will be available, back end will be available, back end will be available, and database also will be available for the application. Are you guys getting my point? Front end, back end, and the database will be available. What is the purpose of database? Database is used for storage. Application data we need to store permanently. Then where the logic will be available? The logic will be available in the back end of the application. Where the data will be displayed for the users? The data will be displayed for the users in the front end. Front end will be available. Now, end users will communicate with our application using front end only. When user performs some operation in the front end, then front end will communicate with the back end. Then back end code is going to communicate with the database. Okay. Now here, end user will be available. That end user will access our project by using our project front end. End user will access our project by using front end. So what is there in the front end? User interface will be available. So login button, registration button, forget password button, table display, data display, logo, images, menus, colors, border, background, everything. That is called user interface. User interface is called front end. Then when you do some operation, it will talk to backend application. Backend business logic will be available. Code will be available. Then backend is going to communicate with the database to store the data and retrieve the data, update the data, delete the data. Okay, so this is called as our application architecture. This is called as application architecture. User will communicate with the front end, then it will perform some operation will communicate with the backend. Backend will communicate with the database. Then front end finally will give the response to the end user. The end user who is accessing our application, that end user is called as a client. The user who is accessing our application, that user is called as a client. The user who is accessing our application, that user is called as client. Are you able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me? The user who is accessing our application, that user is called as a client. Then how this front-end application will be developed, guys? So currently in the market, to develop this front-end application, people will use some technologies like HTML plus CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. These are common for front-end development. Okay, so these are the technologies that people are using in the market to develop front-end of the application. HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript will be available. Along with these things, one more thing will be used, that is called either Angular or React. You might have heard about Angular and React.js. So this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap common for every project. These are common for every project to develop the front end. Along with these things, people will be using either Angular or React. Only one is required for the front end development, not both, guys. So these three are common. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, these are common for the front end. So along with those things, people are using either Angular or React.js to develop front end of the application. Guys, why I am telling you is, tomorrow, as a DevOps engineer, you are responsible to set up infrastructure for this project. You are responsible to deploy this project. Okay, so you should know your project is developed using which architecture, your project front end developed by using which technology, your project back end developed by using which technology, your project is using which database. You should have the basic idea. You are not going to develop it, but you should know what they use it to develop that project. Anybody feeling bored? Anybody feeling bored? Do you think that this is not required for this knowledge is not required for DevOps engineer? Anybody is feeling that this knowledge is not required for DevOps engineer? It's required. Without this knowledge, how can you set up a project? How can you deploy your project? How do you know what technologies are used in your project? Getting my point? Good. So to develop the front end of the application, people are going to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, then Angular or React.js they are going to use. Okay, good. So these technologies are used to develop front end of the project. Then coming to the back end development. Here, to develop the back end of the application, there are several options available, guys. Some projects backend will be developed by using Java. Some projects backend will be developed by using Python. Some projects backend will be developed by using .NET. Some projects backend will be developed by using Node.js. So these are the famous technologies or programming languages that people are using to develop backend of the application. In the backend, they may use Java, they may use Python, .NET, Node.js. Any one technology is used to develop backend of the application. For front end, they will use either Angular or React. For the backend, they can use either Java or Python or .NET or Node.js. So what will be developed by using these languages? These are called programming languages. These programming languages are used to develop backend of the application. What will be there in the backend? Business logic, coding will be available, code will be available. When you click on the login button, some code is executing in the backend, which is developed using Java or Python or .NET or Node.js. These are called back-end technologies. Angular, React is called, they are called front-end technologies. This is Java, Python, .NET, Node.js are called back-end technologies. Then coming to the database. What is the purpose of the database? Database is used for storage. So in the market, there are so many databases available. Like Oracle database is available, MySQL database is available, SQL Server database is available, MongoDB is also available. Like this, there are several types of databases available in the market. So project can use any one of these database. Some projects use multiple databases also. In a project, more than one database also can be available. Currently in the market, people are using more than one database also for storage. Oracle database, MySQL database, SQL Server, MongoDB. These are different types of databases that are available in the market. So in the project, people may use one or more databases. People may use one or more databases for the storage purpose. So a database is called as persistent store, which is used to store the data permanently. Facebook, your data is available in the Facebook database. You are, whatever the chatting you are doing in the Facebook, whatever the chatting you are doing in the WhatsApp, whatever the emails you are sending by using Gmail, okay, what are the videos you are watching in the YouTube, what are the products you are purchasing in the Amazon, Flipkart, everything is a track. Everything will be maintained in their databases. Okay, if you open Amazon, if you go to your order history 2 years back, whatever the product you purchased in Amazon, still you can see that product information and what date you purchased it, how much amount you paid for that, when the order is placed, when the order is delivered, everything will be available for you. That means they are maintaining your data in the database. So there are several types of databases available in the market. So like Oracle database is available, MySQL database available, SQL Server database available, and MongoDB available, Cassandra database is available, like that. There are so many databases available in the market. So in the real time, a project will be developed like this. Okay. Now, if you see the combination, permutations and combination, in some projects, Angular, Java, Oracle, that combination will be available to develop a project. Now, people can develop a project. So they can use Angular plus Java plus Oracle. In some companies, some projects, what they will do? They will use React.js plus Java plus MongoDB. That is also possible. In some projects, Python is backend, and they are using Angular for the front end, Python for the backend, and they are using MySQL DB. In some projects, React backend, .NET, React front end, .NET backend, SQL Server will be available as a data. So like this, project to project, the technology stack may be different, but every project will contain front end, back end, database. So company to company, project to project, the technologies might be different. Some people may use Angular, some people may use React. Some companies will prefer Java, some companies will prefer Python, some companies will prefer .NET. Some companies will go for Oracle, some companies will go for MySQL or MongoDB. So you should have idea on the technology stack of your project. When you are working on the project as a DevOps engineer, you should know what is the tech stack of the project. What are the technologies they use to develop the project? What technology they use for the front-end development? Because based on these technologies only, we are going to use Docker. So if you want to work with the Docker, you should know which technology they use for front-end, which technology they use for the back-end, which technology they use for the database. When you want to write CI/CD Jenkins pipeline, you should know the technology. When you want to set up the infrastructure, when you want to set up the servers, Docker containers, you should know what are the technologies they are using. Are you guys clear with the application architecture, guys? Are you getting the clarity on the application architecture? Yes. Application will be developed. Application will be developed using layered architecture. Front end will be available. Application will be divided, or application will be developed, or we can say application will be divided. Application will be divided into three parts: front end, back end, and database. Or we can say in application, we will have these three kind of layers: front end, back end, and database will be available. Application architecture contains below three components. Application architecture contains below three components: front end, back end, and database. What is a front end, guys? Front end means front end contains user interface. What is front end? Front end contains user interface. Front end contains user interface. Now, front end technologies. What are the front end technologies are available? We are having HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript plus Bootstrap plus Angular or React.js. Any one thing we are going to use. Okay. Front end contains user interface. User interface nothing but presentation layer. Now, for every application, backend will be available. Backend contains business logic. Backend contains business logic. That means code. So what are the backend technologies are available? What are the technologies available to develop the backend? Java is available. Python is available. .NET is available. Node.js is available. PHP is also available. Like that, there are several backend technologies are available. Then coming to database. What is the database? Database is used for storage. Used for data storage. So here, databases. In the market, we have Oracle database. We have MySQL database. We have SQL Server from Microsoft. SQL Server is available. And we are having MongoDB. And we are having Cassandra, etc. Front end contains user interface that is used for presentation layer. So what are the technologies available for the presentation? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap is common. Then either Angular or React. Backend contains business logic. What are the backend technologies? Java, Python, .NET, and Node.js. What is a database? Database is used for storage, guys. Database is used for storage. So here, there are several databases available in the market, like Oracle database, MySQL database, SQL Server, MongoDB, and Cassandra database is available. Okay, then application tech stack. Application tech stack. So what is the meaning of tech stack of the application? What are the technologies that are used to develop the application? That is called tech stack of the application. What are the technologies we are using to develop the application? That is called tech stack of the application. If you take one application, an example, app 1. So the tech stack is Angular, Java, Oracle. If you take one more application as an example, React.js, Java, MongoDB. If you take one more application as an example, Angular, Python, MySQL. Okay. If you take some other application as an example, React.js, .NET, SQL Server. Are you getting my point? So like this, permutations and combinations are available. Some people, what they will do, they will develop a project by using React.js for front end, Node.js for back end, and MongoDB for the database. This is also available. This kind of tech stack also they are using in the market to develop the project. Okay, in one company, these kind of 5 projects can be available. If you go for TCS, TCS is developing hundreds of thousands of projects. So in the TCS, every project may have a different text. It depends on the client requirement, what technologies they want to use. It depends on application criticality also. If it is very secure banking sector, huge application, then they may go with Java for the backend. If application is very small application, then they may go with the Python for the backend. Okay, so it depends on that. So project to project, the technology stack can be different and the database also can be different. Are you clear? Are you clear with my point now? I hope you got the clarity. What is the project? What type of projects are available in the market? And what is the architecture of the project? What layers will be available? And what technology is available to develop the application? What are the permutations and combinations of this tech stack? Look at this diagram. So this is application architecture. As a developers will develop this front end, back end, and everything. DevOps engineer will set up infrastructure to run this front end application, back end application, and database. We need to know what is the technology stack of the project. Then only we can set up the infrastructure in order to run that application. If you have the idea what is the tech stack of that project, then only you can set up the infrastructure. Then only you can build and deploy that application. So we started at what is a software project. Software project, nothing but set of programs, or we can say collection of programs. So to develop those programs, there are several programming languages are available. Why we need to develop these software projects? Software projects are used to reduce human efforts, and software projects are going to simplify humans' life. Okay, guys, software projects are going to reduce human efforts, and we are going to simplify the human's life by using software projects. Types of projects: standalone projects, web projects, distributed projects, and mobile applications will be available. Desktop application will execute in only one machine. One user can access at a time. Web application will execute in a server. Multiple users can access at a time. Web applications are used for C2B communication, and distributed applications are used for B2B communication. Distributed application means the application which will communicate with another application for business purpose. Mobile applications are nothing but they are going to run in the mobiles. Nowadays, some projects available as web as well as mobile also. Okay, guys. Now, if you see Facebook web application is available, Facebook mobile app is available. Amazon web application is available, Amazon mobile app is available. WhatsApp web application is available and mobile app is also available. So some projects currently in the market, some projects are available for both web and mobile also. Are you guys clear with this? So some companies, they are developing a web application and they are developing a mobile application also. Facebook, you can install mobile app, you can use Facebook web application. WhatsApp, you can use web app and you can install in the mobile. So some projects are available for both web and mobile also. Available for both web and mobile also. What is the architecture? Architecture divided into 3 parts: front end, back end, database. Front end contains user interface. Some technologies available to develop front end of the application. Back end contains a business logic. Back end, nothing but business logic. There are some technologies available to develop back end of the application. Database is available, which is used for storage. There are several databases available in the market. Okay, good. Then next one, application tech stack. What technologies people will use to develop the application? It will change from company to company, project to project. Some projects will have this tech stack, some projects like this, some projects like this, some project like this, some project like this. So there are several permutations and combinations. Company to company, the tech stack is going to be different. Project in one company, in the TCS or IBM or Wipro, Infosys, they will be developing multiple projects. So they will use a different tech stack for different projects, depends on the project requirement. Okay. Good. Perfect. I hope you got the clarity on the application tech stack. Good, guys. Now, so next what we need to learn, is application architecture patterns. Application architecture patterns we need to understand. Application architectural patterns. Application architectural patterns. So what patterns people will follow to develop the applications in the real time? So mainly there are two patterns available to develop the applications. One is called as monolithic architecture pattern. One is called monolithic architecture pattern. Another one is called microservices architectural pattern. This is outdated. This is trending. Okay. So in the company, people are going to follow architecture patterns to develop the project. Some projects will be developed as monolithic architecture projects. Some projects will be developed as microservice architecture projects. So currently in the market, microservices architecture is a trending. Monolithic architecture got outdated. It is outdated. So what is this monolithic architecture and what is this microservices architecture? That is for tomorrow. In the tomorrow session, we are going to deep dive into monolithic architecture of the project, microservices architecture of the project. So tomorrow, we are going to understand clearly about these architectures. In the interview also, they will ask you, do you have any experience with the microservices deployment? As a DevOps engineer, how do you set up infrastructure for monolithic application? How do you set up infrastructure for microservices application? Could you please tell me what are microservices? What is microservices architecture? How do you deploy microservices in the production? They will ask some questions around this topic in the interview. For every DevOps engineer, this concept is also very important. So tomorrow we are going to learn about monolithic architecture and microservices architecture. So as I told you guys, initially the DevOps introduction part will be available. I told you, we are still did not enter into the DevOps part. We are still in the introduction part. We are trying to understand the software industry, how the projects will be developed. So still I did not enter into this area. Still we are in the basics. Once we understand monolithic and microservice architecture, then we need to go for SDLs, waterfall model, agile model. Then we will go for the DevOps lifecycle. Okay. Another 2 days required to understand the fundamental concepts of the software projects. Still we are in the fundamentals of the software project. This knowledge is important for both developers as well as for the DevOps people. It's very important. Without having this knowledge, you cannot learn anything. So tomorrow in the course, I will tell that we are going to deploy microservices project. Then you should not get a question, hey, what is microservice? So I'm preparing all that base now. What we are going to learn in the future, for that, I'm preparing the basement. The fundamental, the rock solid fundamentals we are going to learn. In another 2 days, we will complete these fundamentals. Okay, very good, guys. Good, thank you. So with this, we are done for today. Now it's time for doubts clarification. Okay, once again, I'm repeating. If anybody is not there in the group, then you will miss the updates, you will miss the notes, and you will miss the videos also. So please, I request all of you to join in this group so that you will get all the updates from me. Thank you, guys.